Okay,
Well,
could we do that again?
oh yeah.
Stop. Okay, go.
Now I'm struggling.
I just.
Hi visionaries! Welcome back to the channel where we talk about all things ADHD, mental well-being, and personal development. If you're new here, hi, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. And today I have Christine back on the channel.
I'm back.
Today we are going to be doing a video that has been highly requested. It is ADHD in men, and I know that a lot of my male viewers have been like, hey, where's our video? Because I've made a lot of content on ADHD in women and girls.
So we found 5 ADHD symptoms in men that we're gonna go over today, and we have our notes with us since we're women.
We're gonna start off with topic number 1, which is work-related and or job-related problems and issues. So obviously, men in general are the providers, and they take a lot of pride in their work, in their careers, in their jobs. So obviously they define themselves in a large part on their jobs. And so if a man with ADHD is struggling with their job, their work performance, their behavior at work,
Getting along with people,
if they're super argumentative, if they have the hard time with anger issues at work, a lot of times it leads to rash decision makings, whether on the job or sometimes even quitting the job, which ends up kicking themselves in the butt because then they're left without a job.
Yeah, it's like they get in a fight with a coworker and they're like, oh, forget it, I'm just gonna leave. And then they quit and they go home and they're like, why did I do that?
And then they're up against another uphill battle, which is
finding a
new
job.
Like now they have to go searching for a job, which looking and trying to get hired at a new place is not somebody with ADHD's strength.
It's overwhelming for
like
them.
Applying and searching and hunting and resumes and applications over and over and over, and then they start realizing, like, what did I do? My job wasn't really that bad after all. And
maybe I could put up with that jerk being mean to me for another day. If it doesn't mean I have to do this.
The grass is always greener on the other side, I say. And I know we've discussed this before, but shame is obviously also another factor with ADHD in men related to their job performance. They feel shame that they're not, getting promoted as fast, or not, being noticed at work, or they're getting demoted even, or they have to find another job and having to reapply to new positions and finding themselves just constantly in need of work or better work. It leads to shame, and sometimes shame is also exhibited by fear or stubbornness. They're afraid in certain situations, so they're stubborn, and stubborn just seems strong, so all they know is they're going to hold their ground and they don't want to hear what others have to say. So it's
like fear is weakness. You don't want to come across as fearful, so you just decide to instead be stubborn, and that's strong. And society always wants man to be strong. Fear,
hear me
weak.
Roar.
So number 2 is emotional regulation challenges with men with ADHD. Basically going from 0 to 60. They don't know how to regulate their emotions based off of outward stimuli, especially in the workplace, at home, with friends, in public situations. You go from 0 to 60, and it's typically in men exhibited in anger. And anger is strong. Again, that whole strong man. Women typically don't exhibit this, and I know that
I guess it's just not like societally accepted for women to like burst out in anger, but it's also just not uncommon. But for me, this was seriously, reading this, I was like, oh, no wonder I've never related to or understood the symptom of ADHD that is anger outbursts. I've always read this and never understood it and never related to it, and I actually struggle with showing anger. So reading this, I was like, oh wow, it's actually just way more common in men, and it's something that people with ADHD have. It's just, again, not common in women. So I was like, that is such a
exactly
aha moment for me. Super understanding. So symptom number 3 is that men retreat as a coping mechanism. So I'm going to read from my notes on this one, but it says that men have a greater difficulty recovering from conflict than women do. Their blood pressure remains elevated after conflict, and they have more trouble calming themselves, which causes their conflict to feel physically uncomfortable. So men tend to just avoid that feeling altogether. So men with ADHD feel basically constantly under bombardment from their home and their work environments because of their underperformance or their inabilities to get everything done thus and so and perfectly according to everybody else's standards.
They fail to be reliable in the face of distraction. And obviously with ADHD, you're easily distracted. So whether at the home, whether at work, all this stimuli, all this expectations put on them, they want to just retreat. They want to just hide and just, I don't blame them,
Which this then ultimately leads to cover-up behavior, because they're trying to just like avoid the conflict and the way that their body feels in conflict. So they're constantly lying or avoiding, or just basically trying to disappear, just cope by
retreat, obviously to, look the part, look like they're keeping
everything together.
Exactly.
Yeah, and looking like they're capable and competent and able to do all things. Not to say that men with ADHD can't figure
And
this out.
not to say that they're just chronic liars. I think everybody's a freaking liar.
Men are liars.
Liar. No, I think that I can understand that when men are
They're such
the
an
providers.
expectation. Yeah,
exactly.
I would be stressed. I would retreat. I'd be like, oh, leave me alone.
I know, like I'm just gonna go play video games. Why do you think men, with or without ADHD, love their man cave? Because they want to just be alone.
Yeah.
ADHD symptom number 4. Men have difficulty expressing their emotions. They also have difficulty recognizing the cues of other people, the emotional cues of other people. When expressing their own emotions, that does take courage. And a lot of men, ADHD or not, don't always want to be that vulnerable. So learning how to communicate one's emotions does take practice. And so a good strategy would be to practice recognizing and expressing their feelings. It's just almost like, yeah, I'm getting attacked by my sister's cat right now.
Say hi, Rosie.
She was trying to express her
ADHD
emotions.
and cats.
Kidding.
Kidding.
She's hating it. Learning how to express your emotions, I guess, to let your significant other, your coworkers know what's going on might be beneficial. Just be like, hey, I'm feeling overwhelmed. I just need to step aside, step away, retreat, to kind of
take a moment to think.
Yeah, and then assess what's going on, recognize your feelings,
Assess what's going on. Recognize your feelings. Regulation.
label it, be like, oh, that's what I'm feeling right now, and move from there, as opposed to the 0 to 60 outburst of anger. Because I could totally see even just me being overwhelmed, be like, leave me alone.
Yeah.
Just blow up, like, oh my
like
God.
that, this one.
Totally.
So number 5, the last topic of ADHD in men is they are more apprehensive about their ADHD diagnosis. So women have an ability or a tendency to be a little bit more open about accepting the ADHD label. They're open to self-criticism or the ability to work on self-awareness and all these
self-reflection,
getting to know oneself, self-help, self-love, and all that kind of stuff. They're just kind of comfortable with that kind of work. For men, accepting the ADHD label, it has a tendency for them to just be more like accepting the idea of being criticized. Like they'll just be like a sitting duck.
They're
for
just
criticism.
flawed.
Like, I'm just flawed. I'm accepting my flaw. And
they don't want to, so they just don't even want to go there.
Yeah. Along the lines of the topic of being easy targets for criticism, we wanted to actually finish this video up with our thoughts and our ideas of what we love about men with ADHD. We actually know a few men in our lives that have ADHD and the things that we find that we love about them. One is one of our friends and a great guy in our life he is an Energizer bunny, and he never stops working. He was probably one of the hardest workers that we knew.
Yeah.
And in his own personal life, he was a very passionate father and a very passionate interior decorator, and he was constantly working on projects, but he actually finished them, which I was really amazed at.
He's incredibly smart. He is a MacGyver. He's a jack of all trades. He knows how to work on cars. He knows how to work on houses. He knows so much, and he does it with such love and passion.
Yeah, and another thing is that, like, I feel like somebody with ADHD would be really funny, really outgoing, really
spontaneous.
Willing to just like, let's go on an adventure and not so stuck in their like disciplined pattern ways, which I feel like for me and you, we love to go on adventures ourselves and just
discipline, rules, regulations, throw it to the
door.
wind. So we're excited to announce that next Wednesday's video is going to be on a topic on self-growth, but not ADHD related, but it could help with the ADHD, and I'm intrigued about this. It's the Enneagram.
It is actually something that I've wanted to be making videos on for the longest time ever, and I'm so excited that we're actually going to be putting videos out because Christine is super obsessed with the Enneagram ever since I told her about it. I don't know as much, but she took it and ran with it, and she has a lot of information.
It's helped me tremendously this past year, and we are so excited to share this with you.
So thank you again for watching another one of our videos. Please share this video with any of your friends that you think it might help. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this video, and to click that gray bell to be notified the moment we upload another video every Wednesday. And you all must know by now that you are in our prayers, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.